This is amazing, everybody. I mean, something of this build, I usually expect it from a high-end shop that's been in the business for so many years, but it's from inside your house.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everybody, another beautiful pickup, 5-window Chevy 3100. I'm here with Jason from Blevens Rod Shop. How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm good. This is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I love the trucks. This is just... We're going to get some more details on exactly what's happening here, but first of all, here we are at the NSRA in Louisville, Kentucky. How many years have you been coming to the show?
Well, I'm from Louisville, right here in town, so I've been coming to the Street Rod National since I was a kid.
Okay.
So years and years and years, but this is the first year I've ever been in the builder showcase as a builder. This is our first year having a truck or a car, a vehicle in the builder showcase, so we're super proud.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That is huge.
It is huge. It is a huge deal. Been an emotional ride, but we are super stoked, and the owner's super excited as well, so we are very proud of it.
It's a beautiful truck. Before the truck, let's talk about the shop. Tell me about Blevens Rod Shop.
Well, we're a smaller shop. There's just 4 of us in the shop, so we're a smaller shop. It's at my house.
Wow, okay.
So, but we just opened up full-time 2 years ago. Almost next month will be 2 years that we've been open full-time. So
this is amazing.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So
this is amazing, everybody. I mean, something of this build, I usually expect it from a high-end shop that's been in the business for so many years, but it's from inside your house.
Yes, ma'am. And it's a family shop. So it's me, my brother, my dad, and my cousin. We're all, you know, it's us 4, and that's Blevens Rod Shop right there.
Jason, tell me about yourself and your history with hot rods and cars.
Well, I turned 50 this year, so it's a big year for me. So, but I was born and raised into the car industry, into the cars is all I know. It's what my parents introduced me to it at an early age, and I've been going ever since. My first car was a 63 Falcon when I was 16 years old. Me and my dad restored it and drove it to high school, and I even drove it 1 year to college before I actually got a different vehicle at the time. But it's been in our family, still in our family. We keep that going.
The 63 Falcon is still in the family?
No, the 63 Falcon isn't, but cars in general.
The cars in general, you kept them?
Yeah, 63 Falcon is long gone. I sure wish I had it back.
I bet you do.
We sold plenty we wish we had back, but you know, that's, you know, we outside of, I went away to school for 4 years to get my degree, but those 4 years was probably the most amount of time I've been away from the car industry at that time to get my degree. But as soon as I got back.
Was the degree auto-related as well?
It was not.
Okay.
No, it was a communications degree in radio. So,
fair enough.
But I did that for a little while and realized that's not where my passion is, and so car building is where my passion is and what we wanted to do, and so here we are. So that's a little brief.
A work of passion, everybody. Jason, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I absolutely love that story. So where do you see yourself most in the shop? Is it fabricating? Is it paint?
Yeah, so we have a couple of, we don't paint in the shop and we don't do interior in the shop.
Okay.
We have a couple of shops that we work with closely for those 2 items.
I'm not surprised. You said 2 years it's been in operation.
Yeah, so we're still growing, still learning. Every single day is a learning process. But we have a couple of really good painters and interior shops that we work in conjunction with for our builds and for our cars that we build. So,
well, I'm so glad that I was able to stop by with yourself to talk about the build. We're going to talk about the workmanship that's happened here, because first time in the Builder's Choice arena here at the NSRA. Not only that, but a home shop. And I'm going to call it a home shop, and I don't mean that in any disrespectful way at all, but for a home shop to come out with something like this, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And Jason, what did you start off with? How bad was the condition of the original truck?
So this truck was actually, it's all brand new metal on the truck. So it's a brand new cab, brand new everything. So the condition of it was good to start with, but anytime that you buy something out of a catalog, for lack of a better word, or you buy all new sheet metal stuff, it doesn't fit right, so you have to spend countless hours getting the fitment correct.
We love the aftermarket.
Right.
We love the products that's out there, but you do have to make them fit at times.
Everybody thinks it fits so perfectly, but there are so many hours of...
We should just be grateful that there is products out there, right?
Right. So we didn't have to deal with any rust issues, those types of things with this particular truck here, but we did have to deal with aftermarket sheet metal parts that just don't fit exactly like we want them to fit for builds of this quality.
Okay.
So you know.
I can understand that.
Yep.
Now, the chassis, what did you start off with? Did you have a frame, a 3100 frame, or?
Yeah, it's a TCI chassis, bought brand new. It's leaf spring in the front, independent, in the rear, it's leaf spring in the rear, independent in the front. So, but it is a TCI chassis, and it's all stainless. Every nut and bolt on the truck is stainless brake lines.
Nice.
So, but it is a TCI aftermarket chassis.
Well, this is a very interesting build, because you haven't just started off with a truck or something original, but you have built it from the ground up.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in order to do that, I'm guessing you would have had to rely from GM's catalog and the manual, or how did you go about fitting everything and knowing where everything goes?
That's a great question. And sometimes we would look at things and we're like, okay, where does this go? And we have to rely on friends, or there's somebody, I know where one of these trucks are, let's go take a look at it. Let's go take a look at the original one to see exactly how it fits or where this goes. And so we relied on a lot of manuals, and we relied on a lot of vendors. We'll call them, say, hey, this type of thing. So we by no means knew exactly where everything fitted. This is the first time we had built a 47 through 53.
Wow, okay.
So we had to lean on our friends or the aftermarket industry to help us.
Wow.
Okay, how does this actually fit? And so, but we did a lot of like I said, we would go to other vehicles and we would look at other trucks and say, oh, that's how that goes, or so stuff like that.
So in saying that, this is exactly what a 5-window would have looked like from 1950.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I think I love most about the build, is the simplicity of it, but it's super, super nice, super, super slick. But we tried to keep the factory look. That was extremely important to us, because we talked about, what are we going to do with the bumpers? Are we going to do bumper deletes? Are we going to do a roll pan on the back? What are we going to do for rear tail lights? What are we going to do? There's small body modifications that you would never notice. They're so small. But I wanted to keep the traditional look of the truck. That was extremely important. I wanted it to be like Chevy built it in 1950.
Let's have a look here at the front and tell me about some of those very fine details that you guys did.
So it has you'll see under here, you'll start off with the smooth firewall. So it's got a smooth firewall on it. That obviously is not factory, but we wanted to keep the firewall smooth and free and clear and clean, just elegant. We wanted it to be, it's not black, but it reminds me of a tuxedo. It's, the engine compartment is black, but the truck isn't. But it's just simple but elegant, and that's what we wanted to go with. And the blacked out motor is something we really wanted it to be. We tried to hide all the wires that you can see. You can't see any of that stuff. So just...
Is that an LS3? What engine is that?
It's an LS, all aluminum 5.3 LS.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
With the Holley injection. It's got all your good stuff from aftermarket, CVF, serpentine system on the front, air conditioning. It's like all stainless exhaust on it. Every nut and bolt on the truck is stainless. All stainless exhaust. So those are some things that you don't see when you look at it from the outside that we're super proud of. Like I said, all stainless brake lines.
I'm so fascinated by builds like this, because as much as we like to go out there and find those project cars, but they are becoming less and less to find them.
So you have to start with things like this, like you're talking about. They're harder and harder to find. They're getting harder and harder to find, and when you do find them, they're so far gone. It takes so much work that more and more people are building them from the ground up like this.
Exactly, and using a lot of aftermarket parts.
Right.
So no, this is beautiful, and this is exactly how it would have been from the factory. How did you go about the grills? Were you able to get them from the aftermarket or find some original ones?
Yeah, we bought that aftermarket. It's aftermarket bumpers on the front and rear, but we did have those re-chromed at the chrome shops for high quality, just to make them the highest quality. So we got them, they were already chromed, but we decided to send them to the chrome shop and have them re-chromed.
So it's nice to hear that there is a lot of the parts is available for the 1955 window. And we're talking about the headlights as well?
Yeah, the headlights, the owner picked the headlights out for the build. I like them. They're super slick. We have daytime running lights, and we did some of the things we were talking about. Originally, you would have turning signals right here,
right?
But now we have the halos and the turning signals, daytime running lights. It's all incorporated in one. So we were able to remove the turning signals from here and clean up and keep it nice and sleek on the front. So originally they would be right here.
It's nice. It's those modern changes and touches that doesn't take away from the look of the truck.
Right.
But it's nice for convenience, isn't it?
Right. And then you come over here to the swan neck mirrors. Obviously these aren't original, but they're super, super nice touch. Originally the mirrors would be like up here on the cowl, but we put swan neck mirrors on both sides. It's just simple, elegant stuff that almost looks like it's came that way from the factory.
Absolutely.
And then on the inside you'll see the factory dash, factory style radio, but it's all brand new Bluetooth, vintage air, all the creature comforts of a brand new car.
Did they have buckets in 1950?
They did not.
Okay.
Didn't have a bucket seats. It had a bench seat, but the owner wanted bucket seats, so those are Pro Car bucket seats that we.
They go really well inside.
Yeah. Obviously, custom built center console. All the low car products on the inside.
Very nice. And who did the interiors?
The interior was done by Auto Customs out of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. We're from right here in Louisville, but Harrodsburg is just about an hour, 10 minutes away from us.
Okay.
From here, and it's called Auto Customs.
Nice. Now let's move along down here. Absolutely love this. Did you change here?
Nope, that's factory.
That's factory.
Yeah, it's all factory stuff. That's just how the bed would look factory if you bought it back in 1950.
It's just that groove.
With that roll,
just
with the roll up.
Yeah, with the roll up. Yep. That's one thing I always appreciated from these vintage trucks, that and as well as the roll down.
Yes. Yep.
Beautiful.
The taillights are a little bit of a custom. They weren't exactly, they were in that location, but they're been cut down a little bit just to make them a little bit sleeker and closer into the vehicle. But they have original look. You would never know that they're not made for the truck.
And is this where they would have filled up, or would it have been back behind there?
So yeah, this is where we fill the gas. It would have been right here.
Yeah.
It would have been right here originally, but we moved it's got a stainless tank in the rear now, and this is where the fill is, and it's push button.
It's a push button.
Yeah,
okay.
open it up like so. It's just a push button. Yeah. And then the bed, obviously, it originally would have chains back the chains on it.
Well, these were farm trucks. Can you not forget that?
They were trucks were built to work back in the day, not to be this nice, but they would have the chains. So we removed all that and put all the nice new latching system on it. And this is something that didn't come. This is an upgrade that they do, that the aftermarket makes now. This splash apron on the back. Originally, the truck wouldn't have had this piece here.
It was just blank.
It was just blank, nothing there.
So much more cleaner now, isn't it?
Yeah, so much cleaner.
Wow, love that. And what's the wood?
Yeah, so let's talk about the bed, because it's one of my favorite parts.
Maybe I said this is the whole reason I came here to see this truck.
This is my favorite part. This is Australian Leopardwood that the owner actually picked out, and then we just stained it and cleared it, and it turned out absolutely amazing.
It just goes so well with this color.
The color, right? It works really well.
It's not root beer. It's in that family, but there's so much pearl. What is the color?
Yeah, so it's a custom mix, but we call it sassafras metallic.
God, say that again, Jason.
Sassafras metallic.
Who came up with that name?
Me.
Oh, okay, well, thank you for that.
I created that name to tell you, to be completely honest with you. So, I mean, if you really look at it like you're talking about, I mean, you said root beer.
Right.
To me, if someone says, what color is it? I say it's root beer. That's kind of what
Okay.
it looks like to me. But the official color is sassafras metallic.
Sassafras metallic. Why not? Have fun with it. If you're going to make the color, you can name it whatever you want. It's
That's
not your
exactly
child,
what we
right?
said. Let's make it something fancy.
Exactly. Fancy, okay. Oh, we're having a good time here, everybody. Okay, Australian Leopardwood.
Yep.
Where is the owners? I want to see the connection on why they wanted this and how did they find out about it. Are the
Yeah.
owners here at all?
I don't see him. He's been around here all weekend long, and as soon as you,
As soon as I came, they've disappeared.
Yeah,
That's all
but
right, but
you can-
it is a beautiful, beautiful choice right there. How did you go about obtaining that here in the States?
So we come from a company called Bedwood. Again, there's a manufacturer that actually sells it called Bedwood, and we went there and actually picked it out and said, okay, this is what we want. Or the owner and us, we went there and picked it out and said, okay, this is what we want. And it was pretty much that simple. Just going to the company called Bedwood,
And they're based in Australia?
No, they're based here in the States.
Okay, but they can source it out from
Yeah, they
there.
sourced it out. Yep, that's exactly right. So they sourced it out. They had it there. It was one of their options. You could get oak, you could get this, you could get maple, you can get other options. But this was one of the options, and we loved how it kind of, just the the finish of it, or whatever, for lack of a better word. I'm not a wood guy per se, but just the look of it. It's totally
beautiful.
different.
It's different patterns.
Right, different patterns. And
Yeah,
stuff.
reminds
I can see
me
why
of
they call it
the-
leopard wood. You can see that.
Leopard, yep.
Yep. But,
I would have picked it to be, zebra, but it's similar pattern,
right.
like the zebra wood. So, but it's still very beautiful, and it goes with this color very well.
And that's something we were looking for. We wanted something that worked well with the color, stain-wise, and so forth. So we thought, and that's one of the most, when people come up to the truck, they notice it the most. They're like, man, that bed is super, super nice, and they ask a lot of questions about it.
Very well done indeed. Let's talk about the wheels. For starters, what is the size of these tires back here?
It's a 20 by 10
Okay.
American Racing with the brushed centers. It's a polished lip with the brushed center.
The brushed chrome is really coming in, isn't it, this
Yeah.
year? It's getting
Yeah.
very popular.
Right.
And it gives off such a great look.
Right.
It really does.
And the wheel is a super good looking wheel, but the fact how you'll notice how it's tucked up into the rear fender, it sits really well. It works really, really well with the truck, and just looks mean. I think it looks mean sitting in there. That's the best way to
It really
describe it.
does.
Yeah, same with the front. The fronts are 18 by 8s, and the rears are 20 by 10s. Michelin tires.
Beautiful truck, absolutely. And the fact that you guys have I always like to get the history and the story of the builders, especially when we do the shop tours, on how it all began.
Right.
But this is amazing, and this is definitely an awesome day, very significant day for you to have this in the Builder's Choice.
Well, I appreciate that so much. I want to make sure that I thank my brother and the shop. It's been really good, and we're really proud of it.
Thank you so much for sharing this with me.
Yep.
It's definitely a sentimental time. It's a beautiful truck. It's a great honor, honestly. And I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
your time for coming on Runner's Radar and telling us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate it.